In my previous video, I looked at the attitudes in the Middle East to the professional ballet dancer. In this one, I want to look at the history of attitudes in the West. Hi, I'm Kashmir, and that's not me. As I said in the previous video, we looked at how ballet dancers were looked down on in the Middle East. Of course, here in the West, we are part of a liberal democracy, in both senses of the word, and we have enlightened views, don't we? Well, then why was that colleague of mine so embarrassed about being asked to go to a ballet dance show? It's not just ballet dance. If you look at the history of dance in the West, ballet dancers used to be considered to be, well, not suitable women. After all, they pranced around and you could see their crutches. A ballet dancer often had a patron, and she was expected to be very friendly to the patron of the ballet. Now, it's one of those male gaze things again. We have attractive young women dressed in much less than what is socially acceptable, entertaining men. So they must be available, mustn't they? And on the other side of it, we must consider that ballet dancers were paid very poorly, and it's entirely possible that some of them actually had to supplement their income with a little bit of sex work on the side. Same applied to actresses actually, and we still have the casting couch, which isn't so much of a myth as some people may have thought today. But what about ballet dance? Well, initially when ballet dance came to the West, it was banned. So in Philadelphia in 1876, they included ballet dance in the fair, banned. In Paris, which people think of as a more liberal sort of place than America, 1889, banned. When ballet dance came to Chicago in 1893, it wasn't. But the board of lady managers certainly had a good try at getting it banned. In actual fact, it was considered to be pretty low-key, pretty boring really, until it was leaked that it was ballet dance. There were uncorseted women in there doing things with their ballets, dance de ventre. After that, it became quite popular. Roll on a year or so when the fair was finished. It was there for a long time. Millions of people actually went to the fair, and it was such a great seam to be mined that it continued on into the culture. So carnivals and fairs throughout America would have their hoochie coochie dances, and they would shake their bits. There may not have actually been any real belly dance in it, but there was shaking of bits, and the ballyhoo was going on about the scandalous nature of this ancient dance, and it pulled people in. Then there were the bits that actually had nothing to do with belly dance. And then there were the sex workers, the prostitutes. They're pretty switched on, and a lot of them went straight into the seam as well. So there were a number of prostitutes called Little Egypt, who would show you the uninhibited way that the women of the East would interact with men. Now, there may not have been any belly dance in this involved, or there may have been some, but the point is that they primarily were prostitutes. It didn't make belly dance prostitution, or belly dancers prostitutes, any more than policewomen or nurses are prostitutes, because sometimes prostitutes use a persona of a nurse or a policewoman or a teacher or governess or whatever else. The dance also moved in to vaudeville and burlesque, and these days we have quite a sanitized version of burlesque. You know, it's all about the tease. Well, many of the burlesque houses were not sanitized at all. There were places where there was gambling, prostitution, nudity, you name it, you could buy it in a burlesque house. And there were cooch dancers. So again, we get a merging of the two streams: belly dance, cooch dancing, and prostitution in the minds of the general public. For the next few decades, it didn't matter an awful lot because the only real belly dance that could be seen in America would have been in the Greek and Arab clubs. But come the 1960s, and belly dance suddenly became popular. At first it was straight belly dance. Basically the belly dancers learnt from the existing native belly dancers, and then the competition started ramping up and you had to have an edge, and sex sells. So we started getting all this rubbish about Salome and veils and harem girls, and eventually we come on to sort of temple priestess and sacred prostitution. Mata Hari had it quite some time before that, but it started building up again in the 60s and 70s. And of course we also had the backlash that belly dance had nothing to do with sex. It was a pure dance. It was all about dancing by women for women. So I've covered that one as well. As a result, the general public got really, really confused. I mean, what was actually going on? We even here in New Zealand, we had a belly dance teacher teaching her students how to take off their underwear to excite their husbands. Now, this is not prostitution because it's their husbands. It's the same idea. It's the idea of using belly dance control and sexuality for a purely sexual purpose, which we all know can happen, but it's not the purpose of belly dance. The general public is confused. They don't see the thousands of hours of practice, the thousands of dollars that go into costumes that often actually cover an awful lot more than you'll see on the street, let alone the beach. All they see is a bare belly. And a bare belly means belly dance, it means harem girl, it means sex. What's been your experience?